Hey friends, today's video is all about dahlia seeds. Dahlias are naturally octoploids, which means they have 8 sets of chromosomes. And so when you take a dahlia from, let's just say, Cafe LA and mix it with the open pollinated, it could be a very wide mixture of a lot of different flowers. It doesn't mean it will be the same form or same color. And so I've really enjoyed saving seed last year, and today we're just going to be looking at seed pods, finding out what is a good seed and which dahlia plant makes a lot of seeds and which ones don't make as many seeds. I'm just really curious about all this. I did about 150 last year and I kept about 10. So you'll see a couple of the seedlings that I grew on itself. Most people say you have to leave them on the plant for 4 to 6 weeks after they bloom. But I tell you what, I'm not good at keeping track of when it bloomed. I just check the firmness and the color, and if I think it needs more time, I bring it inside into a vase. But let's just take a look outside and see what we have. Hopefully we have a couple dahlias that we can take more seeds from. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy. Today we're squeezing out the water that's inside the seed pods. Trying to get out everything that's inside of here because we want to look and see what kind of seeds that we're going to have for next year. And one of the things you want to do is when you feel it and it's dark, like these are kind of maybe 2 weeks past bloom. I have my plant labeled twice. And what I'll probably do is cut this on Wednesday. Let's see if I can get in focus again. I'll probably cut this on Wednesday and then I'll put another flagging tape right here. And then I'll put it in the vase for a little bit longer for them to mature. Just as long as I can. Here's another one. This is Veroni's DF. And again, you just squeeze it and milk the water out. And when I'm squeezing this one, I can feel the seeds. They're hard inside of here. So I want you to go outside and feel your seed pods. And when they're firm like that, it's almost time to cut them and bring them inside. A lot of people wait until they are more dark. Oh, and you want to pull the petals off because that will help rot them. Our season's going to frost soon. So whatever I have left, I have to let it mature inside. And again, this one feels nice and full, and I can feel the seeds inside of it. And I'm just squeezing out the water. There's some dahlias that give more seeds. Oops, I just popped this one. There's some dahlias that provide more seeds than others. This is Orange Globe. She does not give me hardly any seeds. And I did leave a lot available to pick from. And I'm just not getting anything. Everything that I'm getting is really immature. So I probably won't be taking any of these inside. This is K. Mocha Katie. She's known for a good seed parent. I guess I've already milked this one. I'm trying to get off some more of the petals that were on here. She gives really nice seed and a lot of it. I just cut one other day that had 14 seeds in it that were thick and juicy. So it would have been better if I would have pulled these off before it rained on Sunday. I don't really feel any seeds in here. I kind of put my thumb in here and look back. I feel one right here. So we'll sacrifice this one and look at it. Okay, so I've come over where I can kind of see there's this light gray seed right there. You want it to be darker than that, but that's kind of like the size that you expect to see, but darker. The white seeds, you can't really save those, but the darker ones you can. The gray, I mean, you can attempt to save that, but I don't know if they'll be mature enough. That would be a good experiment to make. For funsies, this was a K. Mocha Katie seedling. And her coloring is kind of orange. The petal structure is not the same, but this is from a K. Mocha Katie seed. This one is labeled in between Okay, chiffon and miscellaneous. So it's hard for me to tell who the seed parent is because miscellaneous could have been anyone. It's just a seed pod that got mixed up. But it kind of reminds me of K. Mocha Katie a little bit too with the petal structure. The stems are a little flimsy, but it's pretty. It's going open center now, which it did not earlier. Guys, look, I'll get to collect seed from it. I got one seed pod, which this just finished blooming. We'll have to wait and see how it does. It's probably not going to get mature enough, but we'll do our best. This is my 20th Ave bed. So there's Old Major, Pure Prince. Well, there might be one Pure Prince. 20th Ave for Mom, and Pink Cloud. This one normally doesn't give seed. Old Major, I've not gotten seed from it before. But I do see some pollen on some of them, so there's a chance. And then for Mom, you can judge me for not staking well. I'll do better next year. For Mom, I don't feel any seeds in there, but remove those petals again. Wouldn't it be neat to get one of these for Mom? And this last seed pod we'll show you out in the field, and then we'll take you inside. This is the new one, the Allen's Bella. And I've already squeezed this one today. There's no water in it. I do feel some firmness right here. Squeezing it, I feel firmness. We're going to sacrifice this one. We're going to look at this one inside to make sure I don't lose any of the seed, because I am really curious to see how this one looks. Let's go inside. Alright, so I can't find my tripod, so we're going to go with propping it up on something. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write a tag and label the name of the seed pod, because I've done it so many times that I can't remember what's what. So, and I'm putting it on a plate for outside. Normally I do a paper plate, and I'm going to start making my way, pulling out the outsides of it. And so far, it's just been really immature seed. I don't need any of that. Again, more immature. Hoping in the center there's something. At least will kind of give me an idea what the other one looks like, because they bloomed about the same time. You can see the importance of letting the seed mature on the plant. And what I hear is it takes 6 weeks, and I'm learning with you guys. So here's a seed. It feels semi-plump, but not very plump. But we'll set that one aside. And I feel another one coming in right here. So I'm going to take some of that chaff off. This one's plumper. There's another one. It's kind of like an onion. They're just layered in there. Another one. So we're up to 4 that are a possibility. They're not confirmed good seeds just because they're lighter. They're not as mature. Just going to rip off the head now. Clean off this stuff. So I look at the underside and I don't really see a lot of the dark gray like I've seen on other ones. Got another seed that's a possibility. So we're at 5, and here's 6. Here's 7. This one's really light gray. 8. 9, probably not, but we'll add it. This one's not bad. I'm squeezing it, feels pretty firm. So there's 10. 11. Oops. And we'll add this one. So we got 12 seeds, and you can see how big that seed pod was. And we'll add, we have 12 seeds. You can see how big that seed pod was. It's open pollinated, so what I want to say about the pollination part is that all my seeds are open pollinated. I did not hand cross anybody. So nothing was taken with a paintbrush from one pollen to the other plant and then covered. I just didn't have time to do it this year. I do want to try that, but open pollinated can be done. You could decide to plant all ball dahlias in a row, all water lily dahlias, or something like that, and you can have the bees and the other insects do the work for you. Or you can say, I really like everything about this flower except for the stem, and you can cross it with something that has a super sturdy stem and hope that you get a plant that looks similar to it, but with better genetics with that. So let's look at some seed that I saved inside already. Okay, so here's some seed that I saved earlier in the week before the storm came. This is K. Mocha Katie, and this is about 5 seed pods. It still feels kind of damp. I was waiting for it to not be damp to put it into an envelope, but you can see the difference in the coloring. Again, I'll wait for this to dry just a little bit more because it was right before the rain came in and I took it just a little bit too early. But seeds are plump. Kind of see that there. And it will go in my envelope when it's time. And this was Clearview Netta. So there was a lot of seed pods in this one. These are nicely dried out, so they'll go straight into the envelope. I want to say this is Rivers Cantaloupe. I did not label it, so I don't remember. I will keep it separate. I'll label it miscellaneous. Apparently it's good because I brought it in and separated it out, but I must have got distracted. And the seeds aren't that thick. How well it's showing up. They're real thin. But they'll go in here. The last couple seeds I can show you is Lakeview Premier. And I did these out in the field. So I had my labels out there and I just put them in organza bags. We have a seed head here. This is AC Leo. So we have some cactus seed right in here. Let's open up that seed head and see what it looks like. Oh, this still feels wet in here. Oh, they have some seeds in here. Well, that might be pretty good. It's not dried yet. So there's still a fear of mold, but these seeds look pretty decent. Sorry, it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but you get the idea of what it looks like when it's a little bit more mature. And brought it inside and see what it looks like. I start all my seeds in the shoebox method I learned from Rivers Dahlias. They put a medium in a shoebox, lightly moisten it, throw a layer of seed down there, just scatter it nonchalantly, and then lightly place the lid over it and put underneath grow lights, and then pick out the seed that develops. And then you can pot it up that way. That way you're not putting a lot of time into the seeds because you don't know if they're going to develop or not, because not everyone's going to make it. But yeah, so this is pretty successful here. They're not as damp as I thought. Here's Holly Hill Cotton Candy. Looks like I just had one seed pod from that one. The seeds are pretty small. Here's, Hot Pink. This is from a seedling of mine. So it's a 20th Ave Reina, and I was able to get a seed head, and I collected seed from it. It turned out to be a Hot Pink Stellar, the seedling was. I'm really excited about Bloomquist Jean. I was able to get 4 seeds out of one seed pod. Rivers Rosie. Looks like I got a random leaf in there. Rivers Rosie, it's got a few seeds in here. A lot of people will count the seeds and then add it to their envelope. And the last one we've collected is Clearview Lila. And yeah, I wonder if they're curling up, if that means they're not mature. They're not really thick. But that's the seeds we have so far. I'd love to hear about your seed journey, to see if you're an open pollinator or if you're hand cross. When do you collect your seed pods? Do you milk them? What do you do with these guys? And love to hear your story and your journey, and then love to see what your seedlings do. I think I'm keeping 9 or 10, and I planted out, I was pretty strict on that. I planted out probably 150. So I'm keeping about 10%, less than 10%. So yeah, you don't keep everybody, but it's kind of a nice surprise to see who blooms and who the parent was. I like knowing that part. I do have miscellaneouses out there, but I'd like to know a seed parent, because then I go, oh yeah, it looks like that one. Oh, like the 20th Ave Pink one was 20th Ave Reina, and the color is the same, but the form's a stellar versus, I don't remember that's a formal deck or a ball. But yeah, it's just kind of fun to see the process and then learning along with everybody. Well, have a good day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends. Oh, I almost forgot. When I'm done with my seed pods and I've stripped them down and I'm ready to store them, I store them in my basement where it's cool and dark. But that's the best way to do it. Some people store them in the fridge with one of those pouches that helps with the moisture. But I just wanted to add that little detail to it. All right, now we'll see you later. Bye, friends.